Today we chat with Daniel Coffey from NGS Crypto, where we discover a way to invest in cryptocurrency mining where you don't have to have any prior knowledge or experience, or have to worry about watching the charts or working out a trading strategy. You just set it up and watch the cryptos come in. You can even use this as an investment option for your self-managed super fund. So listen along as we discover crypto mining doesn't have to be difficult here on this special interview episode of Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy World podcast.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Two Crazy Guys in One Crazy World podcast. They can't annoy their children, so they're here to annoy you. Without further ado, here are Chris and Stacey. Take it away, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's good. Alright, ready to roll.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy World. Once more.
Hello.
Sunny downtown Canberra, where the sun is shining, the ice is now melted off the grass, and we're still sitting here in jumpers. On my outside, Mr. Stacey is up there in Queensland bragging to me this morning he was in his kitchen in shorts and a t-shirt.
Still t-shirts, mate. Still t-shirts.
Yeah, mate, look, jumpers, everything else. It is just crazy. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Daniel Coffey from NGS Crypto. Daniel's joined us to tell us a little bit about NGS Crypto, how you can actually invest through him, and what it's all about. So over to you guys. Stacey, Daniel, welcome.
Thanks very much. So I've come across
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Daniel. So and you're in a warmer part of the world as well, aren't you?
Yeah, whereabouts are you, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm in Bali, guys. So I've got.
Yes.
I'm in Bali. I'm living in Bali at the moment. I'm temporarily here. I'm sort of based. I guess I'm a bit of a digital nomad at the moment because we're off. We're setting up. I'll sort of digress a little bit, but we're setting up offices in South Africa. We're launching in London later on in the year.
That's awesome.
We've got offices. We've got a couple of the directors live over on the Gold Coast, and we've got remote agents in various different parts of Australia, but I'm lucky enough to be in Bali. I've got a bit of a personal story behind that as to why I'm here.
Mate, both Stacey and I
part of the world.
Yeah, Stacey and I both love Bali. In fact, we're going back there in September this year, I believe it is.
Yes, then we'll see you guys for a beer then. Wonderful.
Oh, mate, sounds like a plan to me, mate. I believe that NGS Crypto stands for Next Generation Systems or System. Can you tell us a little bit about it, how it came about, and what you actually do?
Well, sure. So the directors of the company and our IT director, Steve Pivot, came up with the idea about 4 years ago. They used their own money to sort of get into blockchain mining. He'd been playing around with it for a couple of years previous to that, I think. But they spent, about 4 years ago, they started developing the idea of what blockchain mining is and what the clever bit about what they've done is they've taken blockchain mining and traditional investment model, kind of like a bond, I suppose, or something that something that you would look away for a few years with a finance model and generate returns that you can access on a daily basis, but utilizing blockchain. Yeah. So what we've developed really is a pioneering financial instrument or product that allows people to get into digital assets and cryptocurrency and build a crypto portfolio without risking their initial investment. Obviously, if you want to dive into crypto and you don't have a lot of knowledge about it, the market's very volatile, and if you're not sure what you're doing, you don't have a lot of experience. Like a number of people that I know, they bought very high in December and January of 2017-18, and now and unfortunately, those people that do have got to wait for the market to recover. So we don't trade, we don't speculate on any of our clients' money. Our clients' investment goes towards building the computer farm, if you like, the data farm, and we data mine different blockchain networks. And if just to give you a very layman's term of how that works, any any figures or contracts that need to be moved across a proof of work blockchain network need to be verified, and that's what miners do. So as a mining company, we data mine blockchain networks to look for transactions. We then confirm those transactions by completing an algorithm, and when that algorithm is completed that proves that that transaction is legitimate, our computers get rewarded with a small part of digital asset. That digital asset then is then passed on to our members, and they get paid on a daily basis in Bitcoin. We pay all of our clients in Bitcoin because obviously it's the most popular and it's the most easily accessible. It's the one that everybody knows, and it's less volatile than the others. So we pay everybody in Bitcoin, and then part of what the service of what we do for those people that aren't too au fait with it is we train them up on how digital assets work and how they can access their funds. We help them set up a account with our preferred digital exchange, which is CoinSpot, and we talk them through the whole security process and help them, teach them on how they build a digital asset portfolio over the period of the 3-year agreement that they've got with us. And then at the end of the 3-year agreement, obviously their initial investment is returned to them to a bank of their choice, or we hope that we've done a good job and they want to roll that over and take out another agreement with us.
What is the level of initial investment?
Well, typically for it to be worthwhile to the client, we would recommend that they start off on an area of around 20,000 USD. But obviously that isn't always affordable for people. So it's a case by case basis, really. It's what the client feels comfortable parting with. We're also compliant with ASIC and the ATO, and we have a large financial affiliate, I suppose is the best way to describe them, that is fully AFSL licensed, which works with our clients to help them move manage super funds across to self-managed super funds, and then we can ring fence this investment within their self-managed super fund so they can utilize the capital from that and get that working better for them, because as you know, super funds are performing quite poorly, or most of them are. I won't say they all are, but most of them are. So this just offers another choice to the general public when it comes to financial products, and we feel that we really are pioneering blockchain mining and how we utilize that technology to offer a financial product that really does give very good rewards. And I think a very good example of that is that we offer a guaranteed minimum for the client, which is an annual minimum. And that's in the contract, and we have never paid one single client under that amount. We often overachieve, so you'll probably get a couple of points over that, the guaranteed minimum, and that's available for the client to see every day, and they can also withdraw it every day if they want to. But an interesting story is that one of my clients I was speaking to yesterday, actually, one of the members, he made an investment of around 45,000 USD just over 2 weeks, over a year ago. And because of the rise in Bitcoin, he's actually made 60% return in his first year, which he can then draw out. So he's sitting there with just under 30,000 USD in his account from a year's worth of mining, based on the what Bitcoin has actually achieved in terms of its rise, which was pretty parabolic over the last couple of weeks or week, really. So he's hugely impressed. We've got a couple of examples of happy clients on our website in the About section, and we're always asking clients to help us spread the word, and if they're happy with it, to let other people know by either going on review websites or giving us some reviews. So we've just recently launched this website, so it's a new.
It's pretty slick looking website. It's pretty slick.
It's new. It's new, man, and we're really pleased with it. It's all WordPress now, and it links into our social media. So we publish news articles on a daily basis through social media, through Instagram and Facebook. And then we've also got a community chat page, which we put articles up for clients as well.
Okay. So how long has NGS Crypto been around?
It's been around in its current form since we started offering investment to the public since August 2017, and we've now got. So go ahead.
So you were there for the boom.
And I actually did quite well from that. My story with them is quite unique. I was working for a publishing company in the UK in London, and I was creating video content for the Wall Street Journal and for the Daily Telegraph, and we were doing video content for clients, and then it was uploaded onto there. So I come from like a media background, but sales and marketing as well. And I have my relationship with my ex broke up. We have a young son. She's Australian. She moved back to WA, and I wasn't seeing my boy. So I came over here on holiday to meet with them, but also have a friend that was working for the company. Mm-hmm. I ended up investing with them and spending 2.5 weeks with them. And at the end of it, they offered me a job. So I went back to London, thought about it for a while, and ended up coming back over here and giving it a shot. And it's worked out brilliantly. I think what these guys have put together, and as it's evolved with the superannuation and the relationship with CoinSpot and just where we position ourselves in the marketplace, is truly unique. And once you kind of sort of experience the dashboard and the level of customer services that we aspire to, and actually the earning potential from mining rather than just buying it outright and hoping that the market sort of shoots off at some point, which is total speculation. We actually offer a very stable, low-risk way of getting into digital assets. And I didn't know much about it when I started, to be honest, and it's been a steep learning curve, but I have to say that I'm a real advocate for it, and obviously want to promote it as much as possible, because it really does work and it's very exciting.
And I think certainly, from my perspective, the thing that first attracted me to NGS was in fact the investment opportunity for a person who was not that knowledgeable about cryptocurrency, or didn't really want to spend all that time and effort in watching the markets and understanding what's going on. I thought it. I liked the process, I suppose, when you think of more traditional assets, where you do invest in something and you sort of almost forget it. You invest it and then you sort of forget about it and trust that it's going to do its thing. I did like that aspect of it, but in particular, what I picked up on, a couple of things you said earlier, was the fact that it is an investment option for those that aren't that knowledgeable about cryptocurrency, and I think that's a really important point. But also, you mentioned before about helping people and educating people. I actually wasn't aware of that, and I thought that's actually awesome. The fact that you'll actually help people in learn and understand a bit more about the industry and how it works.
Yeah, it's good that you got the relationship with CoinSpot, because being able to set someone up with an account or teach them how to set up an account here, I think is pretty invaluable.
Well, I think it's a hugely important step of the user's journey, and I think without that, we're not really acting in the best interests of our members. I think it's very important that if they're going to invest in a product like this, they understand what they need to do in order to realize the profits from it, and also we give them control. So you can withdraw your profits whenever you want. And I always say to people, there's 3 ways which you can use this investment. You can use it as a supplementary income, where you just withdraw your returns every month and sell them on CoinSpot and transfer them to your bank to generate a bit of a passive income. Or you can hold on to the Bitcoin and speculate on Bitcoin, or as you become a little bit more au fait, or if you are already, you can use the Bitcoin that you've mined to maybe invest in other altcoins, and then you're still not risking your principal. Your principal is sort of safe and secure, and that comes back to you at the end of 36 months. So it really is.
How do you guarantee that? There's been obviously over the years in the traditional markets, people say, "Oh, well, you've got guaranteed returns and you're never going to lose your money, etc., etc." There's thousands and thousands of cases where exactly that's happened. So, how do you guys actually guarantee both the investment and the return? What makes it so different?
So the 2 points. So first of all, we can guarantee the return because we mine a variety of different coins, and we know what the machines are going to do at. Okay, there's always an element of risk. If the market collapsed, obviously, then there's nothing that we can do about that. But, I would say with a pretty high degree of certainty, or almost 100% degree, that digital assets are here to stay, and I believe in that. So I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, I don't think you get any argument from Stacey or I on that one.
For sure. So
the reason I asked, sorry to interrupt. The reason I asked about how long you've been around and prior to the big boom of 2017 is that you would have had investors in 2017, and the market whilst not disappearing, did collapse. So if you had someone who invested in, say, August 2017 and they put in $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and then come June 2018, when everything is at its absolute rock bottom, that how could the returns be guaranteed?
Okay, no, it's a good question. So we know, our IT team know to a degree of certainty how much these machines are going to make, and they can obviously fairly accurately predict what these machines are going to make on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and therefore we're able to then say, right, okay, we're probably going to overachieve. This is what they're going to do. I mean, I'm not a computer scientist, but they will look at it and say, well, if the market drops to this level, the machines are the difficulty rate and the hashing power required is going to make this X amount. So at its lowest form, at the bottom of the market, to make it profitable for the company, this is what we can achieve, and lock that in. And then what you'll find is, which is why we give it on the website, you've got two figures here, 12% to 28%. If the market, if we get it really right, we're going to be able to move towards that 28%, but we can guarantee that we'll never drop below that 12%. Okay. That's how we're able to guarantee the returns. And that's in writing, and that is, that's a legally binding document, and, none of our clients have ever been paid less. And we hold ourselves accountable to that, and we're very proud. The second part is how are we able to guarantee the return at the end of 36 months is we only pay on a daily basis about 40% of what the machines make to the client. The other 40% that the machine makes goes into a reserve pot, which is there to pay the client back at the end of the 36-month or 1,096-day agreement. And on their dashboard, on the client login, they can actually see that there's two figures there, the BTC that we've mined for them and what that dollar value is, and then what's being paid back into their reserve fund.
Do you want us to have a quick look at the dashboard? Do you want me to bring up the dashboard and you can actually...
go ahead. That would be useful.
All right, I've just got to drop for a second so I can block this sun, guys, but I'm still listening.
No problem at all. So what you can see there, Stacey, is our demo account that we sort of use to show. But this is essentially what a client's account will look like on their dashboard. Now, the Earth package, it will tie in with what they will select or subscribe, which is in the services section on the website. And on the demo, you can see that it's Earth, and that stands for 19,900 USD.
Right. So that was their initial investment. Is that right?
That was the initial investment. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, so they have been mining on this. Actually, what's not on this dashboard and what is on the members one is how long they've been mining for. I don't know why it's not been added to this, so it's good to see that. I'll get that added. But they can see how many days they've been mining for out of their 1,096, which is 36 months. Yep. So this has been going, as you can see, we can see from the reserve pot that they've got 15,684 US dollars in the reserve pot. So they're just over $4,000 away from hitting their 19,900. So we can judge that they've been mining on this for just over 2 and a bit years. Right. So that figure, that 15,000, is added to every single day, as is the payouts that they will receive from the mining in Bitcoin. And underneath that, you can see the recent payouts. Now they'll get a notification every day. What's really clever, what we've done is we've tied this into Telegram. So the client will open up a Telegram account, Telegram Messenger app on their phone. We have an NGS Crypto bot which binds to this Telegram. Their Telegram account is binded to this, and they'll get a notification on Telegram every day in Bitcoin and the USD value of that payout. So that's how they know that this is, and obviously they can withdraw. We've got wallet features on here and everything else, so that they can see they can save up to 5 wallets, and they can do a withdrawal of that BTC amount that you can see. They can withdraw as much or as little as they want every single day from that, and that's how they access their funds. Oh, you've opened it, which is great. So this is the BTC withdrawal. So they save in, whether it's a CoinSpot wallet or CoinJar, Independent Reserve, Coinbase, whoever they want to use. They save their wallet address.
Hardware wallet as well.
Or they can do it to a nano. Yeah, they can do it to cold storage as well. So they save their wallet address in there. They select the amount that they want to do. We have two-factor authentication that is binded to the account as well. They put in their 2FA and then they click submit. And then they'll receive an email to confirm it. So we have an extra layer of security where they get an email to confirm the withdrawal. And only then you'll see it. What you've got on the screen there is withdrawal pending confirmation. That means they haven't clicked through the email. And then withdrawal processing means that they've confirmed it via the email, and that will process usually within a couple of hours and be sent to the designated wallet. Cool. And that's kind of how it works, really, guys. In a nutshell, I think in terms of what we've managed to build over the last couple of years and the relationships that we've built, and how we've gone about presenting this to the public and the service that we provide in terms of the education, is that it's a fantastic product and it's completely unique. I don't know anybody else that offers this, and I think
I haven't seen it. No,
it's testament to itself, really. I think once people invest with us and they see how it's working, and they're able to withdraw the funds, it's a no-brainer for a lot of people. They're blown away by it, and
it's a good way to get into mining.
Sales director now. Well, yeah, and I think we set a real precedent with the kind of customer services that we love, that we try and give. We're accessible on WhatsApp, Telegram. We've got direct telephone numbers for all the guys. We're on email, so there's no way you can't get hold of us if there's any issues. We've also got you can raise a ticket on support on your dashboard, which will go directly to the IT team, which will then be farmed out straight to the account manager to deal with any issues. Usually it's questions around people not clicking through to do the email, or they haven't quite got it, but we offer a full training, so we're on the phone and we talk people through that withdrawal process a few times so that they're comfortable with it.
So Daniel, all the coins that you had listed, you had Litecoin and a few others listed as there. Have investors got the option of saying, okay, well, here's my 20 grand, but I want you to stick it into Litecoin or Monero or 50-50, or how does it work?
Well, so what we will do on the lower end, on the lower end packages, if you go onto the services section, and are you on that services section now?
Yep, so I'm on the services here.
Yeah, if you move the desired amount up, that 20. If you move that up a little bit, so the mined coins it's changed slightly. So the mined coins are the coins that we mine on any given time.
Yeah.
So you will be, your coins, dependent on the investment level, will be your investment package will be used to buy the mining equipment or the computers that are designated to your investment level, if you like. So on the lower end, we'll just mine Zencash or Zcash and Ethereum, and as the investment level goes up, we'll buy different machines. But the company just really uses this more of an example, and we will obviously look, or our tech guys will look at what are the most profitable ones, what are working better. We also stake, so without going too much into the IP, with various different coins where you can stake it, we'll use some of the profit of the coins to stake on that, where we'll make an extra 5%. But that really is kind of company IP, so I don't want to go into that too much. But what it allows us to do is overachieve in terms of the mining, and that's given back to the client, which is why once you remember, and we'll do an annual review for you, it will probably work out, dependent on what Bitcoin's done, but on the base level, you'll probably end up earning a couple of points above the guaranteed return that we earn, simply because any profits that we make, we pass back on to the client.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll just mention that that the term staking, for those listening, if they're not sure what that is, think of it in terms of dividends. If you invested in a certain stock, some stocks provide you dividends. Through the staking process with some cryptocurrencies, you can actually earn back a percentage of those cryptocurrencies. So it's sort of like a dividend sort of setup.
Yeah. And it's a reward system for the miners or even the people that buy the coins to be able to stake their coins. So it's a good explanation then.
That's awesome. So the just to jump back, how was it created? How did NGS come about in the first place?
Well, the guys that came up with the idea really, James Mark is one of the directors, and Ryan, who's a friend of mine, worked with Steve on a previous in a previous business, and Steve really is the blockchain IT guru. But they basically had a financial background, and they looked at this, and I think they spent 2 years really developing the product and testing the mining to make sure that it was feasible, and that the package would stand up before launching it. But so yeah, it's really those guys really were the brainchilds behind it, but it's also, I think what's great about this is that it is an ongoing evolution. Like when we first started, we didn't have the dashboard. That's been a process of development to work out really what the client needs and how we can make the UX as user friendly as possible, make that experience as user friendly as possible. And that's taken a bit of trial and error, and it's an ongoing process. I mean, we're a fairly young company. We're still, 18 months old really in terms of what we've been offering, from being able to offer out these products to the public.
Sure.
But
most crypto companies are young.
Well, I mean, obviously that's inevitable, isn't it? Because of the nature of the industry. I mean, when I speak to prospective members or even just, we're having this conversation now, I look at any market and the kind of the evolution of that market, and what you tend to get, especially with technology, is you get this wonderful S-curve where you start very much at the innovation and you move on to early adopter, and as it kind of get mass adoption in the market, and then the laggards at the top of the S-bend. And I think with blockchain, I mean, Bitcoin obviously is the first, and as you know, it's been around about 10 years, but Ethereum and the newer ones are still 3 to 4 years, and they're only now developing their use cases, publishing their use cases, and we're really starting to see more and more adoption for Bitcoin in terms of, there was an announcement that Whole Foods in America are now accepting Bitcoin. There's a number of other businesses as well. There was information today, I think, that BACS is finally going to launch and could be approved in 10 days' time. ETFs are looking like they're more likely to be approved. And 2,000 banks in America last week were given the green light to be able to provide crypto or at least let their clients buy in using their bank accounts. Australia, I think, is still a way behind that in terms of, these big banks that are not crypto friendly. But I'm sure as the market matures and, people begin to gain more faith in it and can really see the benefits of it, then this will change. And obviously, I don't want to bash the banks, but we know that digital assets, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of negative media about cryptocurrencies. And I think a lot of that stems from, that this is obviously in direct competition with the banks. And you don't, if you're a bank, and if I can transfer funds to you guys using a blockchain, which is safe and secure, and I can do it for cents on the dollar, why should I use a bank?
Why would I use a bank? Exactly right.
And when it comes to bashing the banks, trust us, on this channel, you can bash away. We do.
We may have done it once or twice.
Really good at it. He goes to Bunnings buy sledgehammers every week just for a bank bash.
Well, I think we're all in the same. We're all in the same boat, aren't we? We're all coming from the same side of the fence.
We're sick of it.
I think
we're all sick of it. We're sick of them ruling what we can and can't do with our money. I mean, during the height of the crypto boom in 2017, one of my kids who's got a shitload of money in the bank was trying to actually invest in some crypto, and Westpac were blocking him.
I know.
Because
I've heard
they would not allow him to transfer money to crypto exchanges. No, and in the end, he didn't get any because he said, it's just too hard, Dad. The bank keeps blocking it. What right?
Well, they're going to have to. I mean, there's a number of banks out there that I know are crypto friendly, but it just seems that, especially with the likes of Westpac and the other big four and some of the other major banks, that they just are not willing to embrace it. I mean, given the fact that they've just gone through this Royal Commission, and I think it was 10 billion that the big four had to pay in fines combined between them. Is it APRA? I think have received something like 30,000 plus complaints with regards to the banks since the Royal Commission. And the banks have only dealt with something like 20% of them or something ridiculous. And like we all know how much power these guys have, and I think. But I do feel that the evolution of digital assets and cryptocurrency does scare them. And you've got the ones that are embracing it and want to work with people, and they're ahead of the game, in my opinion. And you've got these archaic institutions that are afraid of it and don't know how to handle it, and therefore they're going to have to catch up fast, otherwise they're going to be left behind.
Yep.
Absolutely. And the worrying thing is that, like you said, I think that they've got to make a decision one way or the other. They have to either get on board and be part of the industry, but if they go the old school way and try and just rake more fees and charges out of us to recoup their losses from all the recent bad press and what's come out, I think they'll die away, because we now have an alternative. I think that's the difference that we have not had up until now, and through the GFC, we had no choice but to use the banks, but now we do.
Absolutely, and I think it's testament. The GFC was 2008.
Yep.
So over 10 years ago. Actually, Bitcoin was first published in January 2009.
Yep.
Off the back of the global financial crisis, and whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is, it was.
Yep.
It was about giving people a choice and taking away the power from institutional banks. And if anything, we all know that they're responsible to a greater extent to the GFC, with bundling bad debt with good debt. We've all seen that movie and how all that worked.
The Big Short.
But it seems that the government bailed the Big Short. The government's bailed them out with taxpayer money, and they don't seem to have learnt an awful lot. And now, as the evolution of digital assets, and if anything, they've got worse, I think, in a lot of cases. Yeah. But now with the evolution of digital assets and cryptocurrency and blockchain, like you say, it gives the general public another choice. And
absolutely,
once you put choice into the market, they will either have to make some drastic changes to keep up and to make themselves still relevant, or they're going to wither and die. So we'll see. Absolutely. We'll see what happens over the next few years.
Which is part of the reason why I loved. I was really curious about the NGS Crypto offering. The fact that it does provide people that alternative investment option that also didn't require a huge amount of knowledge. So before we finish off, could we? What's the process for somebody to onboard if they wanted to investigate this further? What's the next step for somebody?
Well, I would say. First of all, check out the website NGSCrypto.com and have a look around the website. There's information on there. There's the slider, so you can look at the investment level, and then on there you can make an inquiry. If you want to contact me directly, if there is an interest, it's Daniel@NGSCrypto.com, or you can get me on Telegram at DP Coffey with Daniel Paul Coffey.
We'll put all those details in the show notes too.
Yeah, thank you. And so feel free to give me a call. I'll be happy to go through any questions that you've got and explain how all this works. I can't go into it at the moment, but there is some exciting news coming up in the future, which will be posted on the website to do with the development of the investment and actually adding more security to what we already offer, so that people are more confident in us as a business.
Following the Binance hack earlier in the week or last week, security is actually something that on people's mind when it comes to cryptocurrency, because the volatility of the market.
So with the Binance hack, it was their hot wallet that was which was hacked, and they kept. I mean, it's unbelievable. It gives you an indication of how much they're holding, because I think it was 7,000 Bitcoins in a hot wallet that was hacked, and they were like, "Oh, it didn't even dent it. Don't worry, it's not going to affect anything."
Like, I think it was less than 2% of their holdings.
We hold a very nominal amount in a hot wallet, and I mean a very nominal amount. And all of the clients' crypto is held offline in dual access cold storage. So we have eliminated any hacking opportunities straight off the bat, and also there's dual access, so you can't have that problem that happened with the Canadian guy that
I was
passed
about
away
to
not
ask that.
leaving any. We've always had, so the directors, it's 3 directors I think have got to log in to be able to access that crypto, so not one of them has access. And of course we've got protocols and processes in place should anything happen to any of the directors.
Did they ever solve that Canadian one, or was it gone?
I have no idea, mate. It hit the news, and then it disappeared. But I don't know. I don't actually know whether there was any resolution to it.
So that's amazing.
You would hope that they had the foresight to put some kind of processes in place. It's ludicrous that just one person would be the only person that would have access to clients' money to that, whether it was to that value or it was a lesser amount. But when you're dealing with other people's finances, you bear a responsibility, and you would have thought that they'd gone through and sort of thought of a strategy in the event of something like that or an alternative happening. But so it boggles the mind that they didn't really.
I got one last thing.
Question marks around that.
One last thing for you, Daniel. I've seen on the site and everything else that you are SMSF compliant and you deal with ASIC in the ATO. So anyone who does invest with you, they can be confident that you meet all the guidelines and audit won't uncover anything untoward or anything like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. All of their transactions are available to be downloaded so that they can give that to their accountant or however they want to do that in line with their reporting for their ATO, whether that is cash or self-managed super funds. Because obviously, check on the ATO website for the rules and regulations around cryptocurrency and capital gains, but we provide all of that reporting. But our partners, the financial partners that we use to help our clients moved from a managed fund over to a self-managed fund, have worked with our lawyers, which are Rankin in Melbourne, to ensure that we are fully ASIC and OTO compliant within the realms of what we offer. So the agreement that we send out has been scrutinized by both the financial company and the lawyers to make sure that it fully stacks up and is ATO and ASIC compliant. And obviously we're registered as a business on ASIC, and we provide all the reporting for whether the client wants to do it or they work through our financial partners. We provide all of the reporting to ensure that they're able to do that for their end of year accounts and to be compliant with the ATO.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Stacey, you got any more? I think it's pretty much answered most of the questions that I had, which is great. Really appreciate your time, Daniel. Look, is there anything else that you think we haven't covered? No,
it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Daniel, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Daniel Coffey from Next Generation Systems Crypto, NGS Crypto. Find them at www.ngscrypto.com. And please, as always, get your own independent financial advice before you make any investment. What we offer on here is informative information, but it is no way to be taken as personal financial advice.
Absolutely. Ditto.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me, gents. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Thanks
we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Cheers, mate, and enjoy Bali. And hey, we'll stay in touch, and when we're over there in September,
thanks, guys.
We'll come and see you. All right.
Absolutely. The beers will be on me when I meet you guys. Look forward to it. Thanks very much.
Mate. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, mate. That was an awesome interview with Daniel Coffey from NGS Crypto. And I would recommend to everyone out there that they at least have a look at the website, especially if you have a self-managed super fund, or if you have a lot of money in super and you're thinking about converting it to an SMSF, because this could be a really good vehicle for you. Right?
Absolutely.
We're not saying it is. We're not saying it isn't. We're saying it's up to you to check it out.
It is
have a look at alternate options. Don't always believe. I mean, I get my statement from BT every year, and I pay an awful lot in fees that I shouldn't be paying. So over to you guys, whether you do it or not.
Yep, absolutely. And again, this is about what we're here for, is to show things that we find and provide you the information so that you can then take that and do your own research and consider it as another option.
Absolutely. Now, Stacey, back onto our normal stuff for a second. I'm going to share my thing because I've got my crazy piece of news. I know we've got to wrap this up pretty quick because of the fact that we've been going quite a long time on the interview, right? But I do think it is absolutely worthwhile sharing my crazy news of the day. Well, when I say that, it's actually crazy news from a couple of days ago.
Okay.
But you will love this. It is just magical, right? Because it just shows how crazy we are. Now, remember, back a few weeks ago when we first started doing these podcasts, and we were saying who our favourite PM is and everything, and we were saying, please, New Zealand, can we have Jacinta? That's all we want. It's Jacinta Arden, right? Because she's more believable. Well, the New Zealand Prime Minister has won the Australia's Most Trusted Politician poll.
Hey, hang on. So you did say Australian politician, yes?
I did. They did a poll and they used 1,400 people from Australia and they were asked to rate a whole bunch of politicians based on the following criteria. Relevance, i.e. they're in touch with the issues and things that matter to them. Integrity, strong principles and driven by ethical compass. Shared values, reflection of beliefs and social political priorities and values. Commitment, has the community's best interest at heart. Affinity, someone that they can relate to and follow through, delivers on their promises. Number one, if I scroll down this page here, number one, Jacinta Arden, someone who was not even in the poll, 77 out of 100 she scored.
What does that tell you?
Mate, it tells you that if the average pass mark in a school test is 75, she's the only one that passed. She's the only one. Penny Wong came second at 53. Oh my God, that one is so skewed, it's ridiculous. Followed by Julie Bishop with 52. But here's the kicker.
When did this poll happen?
Here's the kicker. Our Prime Minister scored 43. Best part, the bill that Australia can't afford to have, and I hope we don't get, scored 42.
How close is that?
Really? Hey?
Like, how close? If we come back to our two-party preference and our two possible prime ministers.
Yeah, I know. And they get 43 and 42.
There's 1 point difference between them.
Jacinta gets 77. New Zealand, we promise we'll look after her. Please give her to us. Jacinta, come to us. I know you're in the land of the long white cloud. That's really cool. Beautiful country, full of awesome people.
Yes, it is.
Come over here. Make ours awesome too. We'll let you keep yours as well. We promise. That's my crazy news of the day. The New Zealand Prime Minister won the most trusted politician in Australia.
In Australia. That is hysterical.
It is just incredible. Just incredible. And as per our discussion, I'm going to keep it to that one crazy piece of news. That's it. That's it.
All right. Well, I'll my little crazy bit of news that I'll provide before we finish this one off.
Yeah. And I'm just ducking down for a second. Yes.
Okay. Well, you do that, and I'll share my screen again because since we talked about crypto this morning, I thought we'd do a quick check on the markets.
That is crazy.
And look at that. Bitcoin is now over $8,000 US.
See, now all those people out there who were saying crypto is dead, long live crypto, it's dead and it's buried, it's gone. Remember burning Bitcoin at $3,900, $4,000 and they're saying, yeah, well, it was 20,000. Guys and girls, if you'd invested in crypto as little as 6 weeks ago, if you put $10,000 into Bitcoin 6 weeks ago, you would now have $20,000. Now, if you put $10,000 into the bank 6 weeks ago, you'd have $10,003, roughly.
So just looking at the 3 months. So basically, at the beginning of the year, we're at 3,000. Well, this 3 months ago was the 14th of Feb. So 3,600 was where we were 3 months ago, and now we're all the way up here at 8,000. So it's
incredible.
It's not a bad gain in 3 months. So
it's not bad. It's not bad gain at all.
No, absolutely,
ladies and gentlemen. That's Stacey's crazy news bit of the day. Crypto's not dead.
No, it is not dead. It is alive and kicking and coming back to life. So Interesting space indeed.
So all you people out there who invested when it was high, you may not have made your money back. Patience, grasshopper. Patience.
You only lose if you sell at a loss.
Absolutely. Remember, 18 months ago, they said Bitcoin was going to get to $40,000 US. It got halfway there before it tumbled. Who knows if it will, if it won't. Some people say 50, some people say 100,000. Because these coins are finite. They will run out. And so people want them.
Well, the interesting thing is, and there's been a lot of similarities drawn between the last bear market and the previous bear market in 2014, 2015, right?
Yeah.
And they actually, I wonder if I can even show it. But the thing is that if you went back and you looked at how much the price jumped in the last bear market to the top of the bull market, and you look at that as a percentage, and you overlay that to the current bear market, and look at where it's going to go to, mate, 20,000 is just going to be a bit of a blip on the way up.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Because this is what Bitcoin has done in the past, right? There's been numerous cycles of the boom and bust, right, as they call it, and this has just been yet another one. Now, when it hits that bottom, when you look at the exponential growth that it gets after each one of those bear markets, if the same process happens again, which it looks like it will, then we're potentially shooting. We're definitely shooting well past 20,000.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would absolutely agree. Remember, folks, not financial advice, just for entertainment purposes only. All right, Mr. Bosun.
Pure observation.
That would probably bring us to the end of episode 14, where we had our inaugural guest, Mr. Daniel Coffey from NGS Crypto.
Yes, indeed.
So once more, Daniel, thank you very much for your time from sunny Bali, Stacey from sunny Queensland, and Chris, as you would have noticed, because I had to put up a board to block the sun, from sunny, yet still freezing Canberra.
Yes, indeed.
Guys and girls out there, please just remember it's a bill that we don't need to have, and this is two crazy guys from one crazy world.
But no bias or anything.
Yeah, no bias at all. Don't vote Bill. He'll shorten your wallet. All right. Have a great day. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next time in episode 15.
All right. Have a good time.
Same bat time, same bat channel, different place. Bye.
See you guys.